6 o'clock. Is administration ready? And we'll do an audio check. All right. And then we will call this to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we will do roll call. Guy,
Here.
Brent,
Here.
Ken,
Here.
Nate,
Here.
and Jeff is here. We had no public comment signed up for today, so we will start with a student council update. A new face, welcome.
Hi, I was here for the, I think, May board meeting, but I'm Lindsay Walsh, I'm the new student council representative, the president. So far, we have done a lot of homecoming work with class competitions and class shirts, all of that, dodgeball, Macho Man, powder puff, all of that. And pretty much everything is set. We're going to be having our homecoming dance at Fat Apple Farms, which is new to us this year, considering we've done Savannah Oaks many, many years prior. And yeah,
Where's that located?
it's just outside of Columbus, I'm sure.
Nice. And courts have all been selected?
No, not as of right now. We are getting that information and then we'll have it sent out for voting, and then it will be set and be ready like the week before homecoming.
Okay.
When is homecoming?
October 4th.
If I asked my son, he wouldn't know. When's the parade?
The parade will be on Thursday, so it'll be October 2nd.
Very cool.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we will move on to Celebrate Fall River.
We have our band, where is he? Oh gosh, I forgot you're over there. It's been a long day. Mr. Keller would like to just share with you the fun things that the pep band has been working on and going through and doing this past summer.
Bennett, you come up too. Lindsay, you too. I'll wait for them. Yeah, it's true, it's true. Gotta do that part, remember? Over the summer, the Fall River Pep Band did a little summer tour. We did a even smaller one last year. I couldn't tell you where we went. The dump, the farmer's market.
Yes.
Anywhere else?
Nope.
Okay.
Park.
Oh yeah, the park, yeah. So we did 3 places last summer. This year we went to 7 places, so we're gonna go through. We just got a couple of pictures to show you. It was a cool experience for the kids to get to go through kind of like what a tour might look like, except for no touring bus, just a school bus. Go to the next slide. Here's a couple of pictures. Our first stop was the 4th of July parade in Columbus. The parades are the hardest part for me to take pictures of, so I get a couple of parents to help me out and grab some pictures. Big thanks to Vita Builders who help us pull the trailer every year. There's a gentleman, Tim Doyle, who volunteered last year to pull the trailer in the 4th of July parade, and we got him for both parades this year. Next one. We were invited to come out to the Columbus Country Club. That was our next one. The same weekend, it was Sunday, I believe we were there. Matthew Gawker reached out and invited us to come and perform at the Country Club. He thought it'd be a really nice idea. He ran a bunch of fundraisers for us to raise money and made a big donation to the pep band as a thank you for us performing here. Of course, we made it back to the dump again this year. Jack Jones he called me back in February already to start scheduling this and get this organized, and they have they retrofitted their stage with a whole new light setup. So the day before, Henry and I went there, and we actually brought all of our lights to set them up just so we could have a couple of lights there. And then we drove all the way back and put it back on stage. I did not know that they had done this, so pretty cool. This was a little performance we did at the farmer's market. If you were out for the corn roast, it was the same day as the FFA corn roast. And this was our first football game. And the last one we had was, oh, I forgot about this one, this one was another tough one to get on, take pictures. We have a little bit of a skeleton crew. Most of these kids were involved in multiple things this day at the Dash and Discover event. So kids were coming and going, playing with the band when they could, going and doing other things. And then the last one was the Randolph Corn Fest. Every performance we had, I kept thinking, this one was my favorite, this one was my favorite. This one really was my favorite. When I looked out at the crowd, we were right by where they were serving corn, and I think this might have been the largest crowd we've ever played for, except for maybe state basketball. So this was really cool. We were happy to come out and do this again. Almost every place that we played at, they made a donation to the pep band this summer for us coming to perform. So it's a great experience for the kids, and this year we're hoping to use that funds to go back to recording studio again. Thank you.
Very cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
All right, we will move on to prior meeting minutes. And so in our packet, we have the minutes from the August 20th school board meeting. Any questions? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the board meeting minutes for August 20th,
We have a motion,
2025.
we have a motion by Nate. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Jeff.
Seconded by Ken. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Motion passes. We will now move on to a treasurer's report.
The first sheet, the only thing that's noticeable is this expenditures are up a bit this year compared to last year in Fund 10. When you go to the second page, you see that's in the 300 level, the purchase services. And when you look at those, it's mostly referendum project spending that we went through during the Buildings and Grounds Committee. That's the beginning of getting a lot of that kind of work done early in the year. We tried to do a bunch before school started or about the time school started. Some more will happen more towards spring to still be within this fiscal year. But that's the only change or why it looks a little bit out of whack compared to normal at this time.
Any questions for Mr. Burke? All right, I will then take a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report, Jeff.
We motion by Guy. Do I have a second?
I'll second again.
Seconded by Ken. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, also in our packet were the line item detail for payroll and vouchers. And so having reviewed, I will go ahead and make a motion to accept payroll for 9/30 and 10/15 and vouchers 428078 through 428178 and 2025-00049 through 2025-00100 and 252-600-013 through 252-600-027 in the amount of $401,257, and I assume that means 93 cents. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion by Jeff, seconded by Nate. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. All right, we will move on to gifts and donations.
So a few donations this month. Some disc golf discs were donated by the Fall River Chamber of Commerce. Pork in the Classroom grant by the Columbia County Pork Partners. I know Melissa Litherland, FCS teacher, does a lot of great things with that. A couple of band donations by DBA Community Corn Carnival and Bando Barley. Any more to add to that, Greg?
Not that I know of.
No? Okay. And then, new cash boxes were donated by the PPO, and if you have ever seen our cash boxes, they were looking really rough. And, I brought it up to Kelsey, I'm like, hey, do you think, PPO might be willing to donate? And she had already had it on her agenda for that night, so, great minds think alike, they look really great compared to what we had, so.
They're
Thanks to
red.
the PPO. And they're red, yeah. And Ryan Seichter is actually gonna make some sort of wrap for them so that it has our logo on it and, right? Something like that? Okay. So they're gonna look really great.
Always good to see the donations come in. We will move on to the referendum report.
So each month now, we're gonna have a Buildings and Grounds meeting preceding the board meeting to kind of update them where we are in the different projects. And one thing is in your packet, and those in the audience, there's a sheet right there, that's a spreadsheet that shows all the different projects from the operational referendum monies, the capital referendum, and then interest on the investments we've had from the capital borrowing. We're gonna keep this updated every month so everybody can see exactly where we stand. And as we get to the CTE edition, this is gonna expand greatly, because that'll be a one document in itself probably, if I can synthesize it down to just one document. We also spent a lot of time in our meeting today talking about the planning, the implementation of the referendum and bidders and how the process is gonna work. So it'd be good to be able to get together every month and kind of update what's been going on and helping getting direction, make sure we stay on target. We also updated the board on our working with Findorf and how that's going, so that we're trying to keep them accountable and get us the best deal and get it done promptly. The one thing I noticed on the sheet that we have here, we've got at the top for the operation, I'll just highlight this a little bit. We had the estimate before we went to referendum, because we had to come up with what we thought all the things were gonna cost, so that we could know how much we were gonna ask for in a referendum. The second one is when we did approve a bid, what that bid was, and then the final cost highlighted. Anything highlighted in yellow is stuff that is done already, and then the last two columns, how much is over or under what the estimate from a year ago in November was, and how much over the bid we were. So we've spent about $600,000 on those operational projects over the past 2 years so far. We're $80,000 less than we expected from when we went to referendum. We are about $18,000 over the biggest from the bids, and that's mostly is the front parking lot and a little bit on the locker room, although the locker room's not completed on here, so those numbers are subject to change because we haven't gotten the locker room done yet. But this will help us to show to anyone who wants to know how we're spending all the referendum dollars.
Personally, I really like the format. I like both comparing it to the estimate that we went to the community with, but then also kind of what we're holding the contractors to. And, you know, it's good, you know, if things like the parking lot comes up, to be able to explain, here's why. And, you know, obviously things come up, but I like the format and the transparency.
And there's also a list of projects yet to be done in the operational part, things that are coming. So you can also see, well, what else are we doing? And when we get to the end of the revenue limits in the end of October, we'll have much more information, and that's gonna maybe change what our plans are for the operational dollars and what we'd be spending, whether it's still yet this year, or what we'll put into the plans for the next year. So we'll be able to get that more delineated. I should tell you right now, I think I told whoever, I think we are probably looking at about 5 more students in the building this year. I think our FTE count is still going down, but our enrollment is still going up, and that's open enrollment is probably getting even better than it was last year. So that's probably an update on that, but this Friday is the 3rd Friday count, and soon after that, we'll have the exact numbers.
And then any highlights about next week, Tuesday's meeting?
Yeah, it should be that next week, Tuesday, the design development D&D phase is over, and they've been fine tuning the numbers for now the floor plan. If you're on the core team, you've seen the floor plan. So next Tuesday, we should have even more fine-tuned numbers to say where exactly we stand. So 10 o'clock next Tuesday, if you're available and want to see what's going on, it's the in-person meeting in the conference room up by the front office.
And if anyone showed up yesterday for that meeting, it's an honest mistake. All right, any questions about the referendum reports? All right, well then I will take a motion to accept the referendum reports.
I'll make a motion to accept the referendum reports.
We have a motion by Nate. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Guy. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. All right, moving on to new business and the potential girls' basketball tournament.
Yeah, Mr. Doolittle is here to share his request for the trip for the girls' basketball team.
Wherever you want.
Okay, well, I'll just shoot from the hip here. So it's a varsity only this year. After 20-some years of doing holiday tournaments and all that goes into that and all of the work, we decided that it's time for us to start going out and to play some different teams. So on December 29th and 30th, we're going to Amro for a varsity-only tournament. We'd like to stay in the Holiday Express. We have, got a few rooms, 10 rooms right now. They have about $110 a pop, so we would like your permission to go.
And who covers the funding on that?
That would be the girls' basketball. We'll have about 15 kids and the 4 coaches for chaperones.
And you got busing or transportation?
I talked to Mr. Anderson, and yes, I've already sent or submitted the paperwork.
Okay. Any questions?
I'll make a motion that we approve it.
All right, we have
I'll second it.
motion by Brent, seconded by Guy. All those in favor, vote aye. All those opposed? Thank you for doing things like that, Mr. D.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
And in a similar vein, we will move on to the potential national FFA trip.
We have Mr. Seifer here to present that one.
So, every year we have our National FA Convention currently held in Indianapolis, Indiana. Because of some of our popularity we've had this year, if you saw the Inspire magazine stuff, we have a lot more kids looking at getting involved. We actually already are at our membership that we were at last year, is still growing, so we're pretty excited about that. But we have anywhere between, with sports, we're still figuring that out, because if we have kids make tournament and stuff, some might not be able to go, but we're looking at anywhere between 15 to 20 kids that want to go on that trip. Cost of that trip is paid for by our local organization. We travel with Partyville and Randolph, Cambria, Friesland, and we added WLA as a new chapter this year. They're joining our bus, and we are gone from the 28th through the 1st. 29th through the 1st. We leave from Partyville High School, and we come back, and lots going on down there. The one thing in the agenda, we were gonna go to the Case IH tour. That's getting changed, but we're working on setting that up. We just had a scheduling conflict, and it's not gonna work out in our travel time now. But we'll figure something out for that. We always do industry tours on our way down.
And you're comfortable with chaperones?
Yeah, so what's nice about when we do the bus, I've driven before, obviously, it's always nice to have a female chaperone. My wife is the ag teacher in Partyville, and then Randolph, Cambria, Friesland has theirs. I mean, I tend to be the male chaperone for the bus, so, but the female side is also covered. I think we have 6 people going this year from an advisor standpoint, so.
Okay.
Who's chaperoning you and your wife?
Good question.
All right,
I don't know if you have any other questions. I mean, it's a great opportunity. I mean, every year it seems like we go on this, and like last year there was a student who's like, yeah, I've never been out of the state of Wisconsin. So, I mean, it's an opportunity for those kids. Every once in a while, it's not as common anymore, but back when I first started teaching, I'd have kids, we'd stay at a hotel room for the state convention, and they're like, never been in a hotel before. I think those have started to subside a little bit more just because the economy's changed and stuff a little bit, but, you know, there's a lot of growth that can come from that, so.
I love it.
Great job, Ryan. You're doing an awesome job. Both
Fantastic.
you Ryans are doing an awesome job.
We need a motion for that, or?
Yes, sir.
I'll take a motion to approve it.
All right, we have a motion by Brent,
I'll second it.
seconded by Nate. All those in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, thank you both. All right, we will move on to staffing recommendations.
All right, I have the pleasure and honor to announce that Mr. Polish has put in his retirement paperwork to Mr. Burr, formally and informally in crayon. And Tom, I can't see your face. You said it's really easy to see your face. I just
If
want
not
to
his forehead.
personally thank you for all the years of service to Fall River School District, the students, the staff, myself. I don't know anything about said thing, Mr. Polish. We'll talk about that later again. But I do want to say thank you for all the years, and it's been a pleasure having you on staff, and I've really enjoyed working with you, so thank you. and I'll continue to enjoy working with you through the end of the year.
If you know his letter, Tom was Dan's third grade teacher back in Reedsburg School
It's
District.
crazy.
So, that's why he's known Cindy and I for decades.
Crazy.
Love it. Well, thank you for all the years of service. Really do appreciate it.
And then, the next one, I do have a resignation, for Mrs. Slotin. She is resigning from her aide position effective this Friday, and wanted to just bring that to your attention.
We'll do those motions separately, please.
Okay. Well, with that then, I will take a motion to accept the retirement of Mr. Tom Polish.
I'll make the motion to accept the retirement of Mr. Tom Polish.
All right.
I will second it with tears. I want to say thank you because you were like my dare teacher that I was in dare officer for like 68 years with you, and it was awesome. So I hope you enjoy your retirement.
All right. We have,
What year did you come here?
Right before me.
Because I think I was in middle
97.
school. 96?
yeah.
Yeah, I think it was my 6th grade year then.
Who feels older?
I do.
All right. Well, we have a motion by Nate, a heartfelt second by Brent. All those in favor vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. All right. And I will also take a motion to accept the resignation of Miss Donna Slotin.
Before you get to that, I know
Yep.
there's a question regarding.
Yeah,
that.
do we have
Go
a-
ahead.
Do we have a replacement for Don?
Great question. So, it was gonna be part of my board report. I'll start that kind of right now. So I met with the special ed team tonight. We're reviewing their schedules and looking at those things, within their schedules, just to make sure we're doing the right thing, whether we're moving forward with the replacement or whether that's something that we can, handle internally, so we're working through that process.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
And that was also presented at the finance committee as a potential option as well.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion to accept Donna Slotin's resignation.
I'll second it.
Motion by Guy, second by Brent. All those in favor vote aye.
Aye.
All those opposed.
As, before you move on, I do wanna just say, thank you, I know Mrs. Slotin's not here, she was here for a long time, I wanna thank her and wish her the very best in her new endeavors.
Absolutely. If you're listening online, thank you, Donna. All right, we will move on to the district reports, and we'll start with the principals.
All right, I'll get started. So this month, we've been spending time in kindergarten through 3rd grade and 4K through 3rd grade, on our Ames Web Screener. So that has begun. A little background to that from last year again, that is that part of the Act 20 where we screen all of our 4K through 3rd grade students and then look at who is falling below the 25th percentile. And then if they are falling below the 25th percentile, we provide them a personal reading plan, which targets the areas where they need more instruction to boost them back up, to get them back above that 25th percentile mark. Easy for me to say. Spent time today, 3rd grade finished last week, and spent time today with Mrs. Roach and Mrs. Hayden reviewing our scores, and I have good news to report, that 3rd grade, so those 2nd graders going from 2nd into 3rd this year, last year at the end of 2nd grade, we had 12 students with personal reading plans. As of today, we are going to be able to reduce that down to only 2. So we are going to be able to exit 10 students out of having personal reading plans. So I want to thank all the hard work that 2nd grade did with those students to help us exit them out this fall. And I'm looking forward to seeing our future scores. Each week, a new grade's doing it, so we're kind of pacing ourselves as we go. And I'm excited for the scores coming up for the other grade levels also, because the teachers do work very hard on these plans to make sure we are catching kids back up.
And 25% of what, like the state?
Great question. So you're looking at, in 2nd grade, you're looking at oral reading fluency. So you're looking really at their fluency. And then if they're falling at the 25th percentile or below, and that is kind of nationally normed, then we're looking at a personal reading plan. So we're able to reduce that by 10 students this fall, which is the right direction.
Yeah, thank you.
I also want to thank our PBIS team, Positive Behavior Interventions and Supports team. For the start of this school year, we spent time, planning and organizing our kickoff to this new school year and took time to rotate the elementary students through different stations with all of the staff, reteaching bathroom expectations, hallway expectations, water fountain expectations, lunchroom expectations, playground expectations. So that is something that we are going to continue to fine tune each year, but I think it's a good way to kick off the year to remind the students of what are those expected behaviors for being respectful, responsible, and safe at school. On top of that, I want to thank Miss Ikeda for a successful initial pirate rally. We hold pirate rallies every month with our elementary students. I kind of put her in charge of those and organizing those, and she does a really great job of them. Whether it's singing songs as she's underwater or doing other cheers, but really the main focus of it, she does make it fun. The main focus is to each month teach a different expected behavior, whether it's responsibility, whether it's integrity, some of those different core expected, citizenship, some of those core behaviors that we want to see here in Fall River, and she does a really good job of that each month. So I want to thank her. Today, like I said, met with the special ed staff, looking at schedules, looking at how we're utilizing our whole entire team, and we'll bring a recommendation for you in the future on that piece. I want to thank everyone who came out, and I know Dr. Tripp will probably hit on this, sorry if I'm stealing any thunder, but I want to just thank everybody who came out for the Dash and Discover. It was a really cool event. Really enjoyed it. As I talked to Kenny about it that day, I think this year is kind of that word of mouth year where people go, what was that thing? What did you do? Oh, that sounds kind of cool. Next year, I'm hopeful that that's our grow year, and then that third year we're established. So it was a pretty fun event. I think the kids enjoyed it. I know they enjoyed dunking me, and I think they enjoyed dunking Kenny and Trepto also. So it was a great time. So thanks to everyone who participated and helped organize. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Okay, so last month you asked me to give a report and I wasn't ready, so I'm gonna go this way. So last time, Mr. Barrier and Dr. Chepto gave you their professional goals, so I thought I better share mine too. So here are my professional goals. So this is just to make me better as a principal and as a professional. So it's things I plan on doing myself throughout the year. So I have a little description there, steps that I intend to take, and then how will I know if I'm successful, and it's evidence of success is on the back there. So I don't think I'm gonna spend a ton of time on this, but more just for your information so you can see the things that I'm focusing in on this year. It's not the only things I'll do, but a focus of mine personally. And then kind of filling you in on what I do in a typical week. There's a lot of attendance, and the beginning of the year is always tough because kids are learning new schedules. So, think you're sixth graders and they don't really know where to go. They aren't always on time. Your high school students, new to privileges and open campus and all that fun stuff. So we run down a lot of attendance at the beginning of the year because we don't want to mark somebody absent that was actually maybe just in the wrong room. So the beginning, we kind of have all that sorted out, and now we're in a pretty nice groove. I will say that Sue was so happy one day because we did not have a single student marked as unexcused or absent or in the wrong room or anything. So one day, but we'll take one at a time on that one. So then, usually though, there's maybe anywhere between 3 to 6 students on a daily basis where the next day we have to figure out, were you actually absent? Do you need a detention for that absence? Were you somewhere else? And we have to confirm with another teacher that they were in that room. So it just takes a little bit of time in conferencing with the student. We had a lot of alarm issues this past week, like my cell phone doesn't work, or maybe I need an old school alarm clock. So we kind of troubleshoot with the kids too to figure out what's working for them. All right, so staff and supervision. So I have 15 teachers this year that I will be observing. And so at this point, I've read through all of their professional practice goals and their self-reflections and made comments on those things. And then I've started my observations. So I've completed 5 observations so far, along with those follow-up meetings. So I have 10 more to go. And as soon as that's done, we'll probably start the second one right away because otherwise we'll run out of time at the end of the year. been working in the collaboration type of environment. So we have been doing our curriculum review process, and this is actually something that we kind of worked on when I was a teacher, and we started that, and then they took year 1 last year and ran with it, and now we're in year 2 this year. So I got to meet with social studies and ELA this afternoon, and we're working on our year 2 process of looking at different curriculums for those content areas and adopting those and doing some site visits and all of those things. So that was fun to do this afternoon. And then as we look ahead, the MASH list is gonna come out, or came out today. And so then we'll be running some eligibility checks and all of those fun things, so that'll take a little time, maybe working with Abby a little bit on keeping students where we want them or making some plans for how we're gonna get there. And then I would say the last thing as we look ahead is Abby and Prairie Ridge Health have a vaping presentation that they're going to give to middle school and high school students separately, but similar presentations this coming Friday. So 30 minutes for each group, but it'll be nice to have that community partnership come on in for the kids. That's all I have.
And middle school volleyball.
Yeah, and I got to announce a volleyball game for the first time last night. I made a little bit of a mistake, but I hope nobody caught it. So I forgot to say Montello's head coach's name after I introduced their lineup. So.
Did
And
anybody notice?
I don't know, but I was on light duty too at the same time. So there was a lot going
Go
on.
into the building, turn it off. or
Yeah, I
whatever.
was running back and forth. So yeah, it all went pretty well.
Well, just
thought
to
you did great.
piggyback that, just really quick, and I haven't talked to you yet about this, but I thought we got a really nice compliment. I talked to the athletic director from Rio at the end of the game, and
Rio or Montello?
or I'm sorry, Montello, I'm sorry. Where are you, Greg? Montello, at the end of the game, and he thanked us and wanted me to make sure I sent my thanks to Abby because he said they had a great experience. He said, obviously, you know, they won. I mean, he didn't say that, but like he just said, he's like, you know, the fans were great, the parents were great, the facilities, everything was awesome. And so he thanked us. So
Good.
Abby, he thanks us.
Barney's a good guy.
All right. You got your principal's report?
I know. All right.
Yeah, any questions for Ms. Kutzler? All right.
Okay. So similar to what Ms. Kutzler was saying, I also have been starting to get moving with our teacher evaluation process, just reading through the teachers that I kept outside of the ones that Maria took, reading the self-reviews that they had, looking at their goals that they're starting on. They are going to be meeting with CISA Sarah next week at the end of the week to be refining their professional goals. And now that we have our data in, they're going to be getting started on their student learning objectives. And then I also have had several teacher observations completed within the last couple of weeks. So that is the part of my job that is really fun and that I enjoy. And so that is, it's good to get started on those things. Last week, testing again, similar to Ryan, the students finished up their IXL diagnostic snapshot. As teenagers will, it was fun the first 2 weeks of school to watch them using their apps and cheating to try to get their scores up. And then when it comes to the snapshot and they're locked in securely, all of a sudden, you know, we actually get a decent idea of what they do know. So, the preliminary data is showing excellent growth from last year's fall data for our students. There was a little bit of that summer slide from the spring data to now, but that's to be expected. I've been spending some time getting into classrooms and encouraging and reminding the students to get into their recommendations for their IXL, because the program itself, when they use their recommendations, really does give them tailored learning for where they're at, in addition to the generalized instruction that they're getting from our teachers. So if they try to remove themselves from their adolescentness and use the program for what it's for, our students that are using it are seeing great growth in their learning. So that's exciting. We talked during the Buildings and Grounds Committee. We did meet with the furniture company to just talk with them about the needs of our district as moving forward with the new addition, as well as some of the operational money that we have set aside for our furniture needs for our high school students who just do not fit in our desks anymore. I had a parent meeting on Monday night, and she was sliding into that desk, and she's like, oh, it's been a while since I sat in one of these babies, and I said, yes, we're working on that. So we did get some samples, brought in and delivered to us, and then I don't know if it's been posted on social media yet or not, but we actually took the pallets of furniture down to Mrs. Book's room, and her English students used them as a part of her communication lesson to put them all together for us. So they are currently located in various classrooms throughout the buildings or throughout the high school. So if you wanna take a peek at any of the samples we're looking at, let me know and I can direct you as to which classrooms to go into. And then, like Maria said, we've been working with Kendra. Kendra, Maria, and I have been working on our strategic plan action steps and our data dives into our achievement data. So what we have is Ryan Seichter graciously helped print out huge posters of our achievement data for our cohorts of students so that we can see how they are faring achievement-wise with regards to similar students in the state. Our teachers looked at that data during in-service, and then we went through and looked at what the teachers' comments were and came to some of our own conclusions. And so we're making some adjustments and doing some of those things that we need to be doing to ensure the success of our students. And it is, I wanted to do a shout out or a thank you to Ryan and Kendra and Maria, because without them, and in addition to our teachers who are at the ground level, but without their vision and to constant growth and achievement, this would be a very difficult task. So many minds really help to bring perspective to what we're looking at and what we need to do to make sure we're continuing with success. Just talking transition duties, some of the things that I've been doing to work into transitioning into the superintendency is that continued work that Maria talked about on our curriculum. We had our first K-12 staff meeting tonight, in which the teachers work in their collaborative groups to be able to meet whatever needs that they have. So Ryan was in with special ed, working with them on the things that they need to do with scheduling and interventions. Kendra and I got our year one students, got our year one teachers going on their first round of curriculum review. So that was our math group that Maria had talked about already. She had taken the year two teachers that are in year two of their cycles. And then I kind of floated among the three groups just to check in. Our CTE group is working on finishing because they have many more classes. They're still finishing up their curriculum pieces. So they're working on that this year, as is science and then our PE and our health. We also have our staff wellness committee back up and running. We are gonna take that once we get this committee back up and running. We're gonna expand it out to start including, I think our board members, seeing if one of you would like to join us, as well as some additional community members. So we're starting with just that initial level of our staff wellness, and then we will be branching that piece out. And then in talking with Dennis, I'm gonna start working on policy and county safety going forward. So those are gonna be some of the pieces that I'm gonna be specifically working on. And then he and I are going tomorrow to the WASDA Superintendent's Conference to kind of get my feet wet and learn a little bit more from not only the experts there, but to also meet and be able to build some of those partnerships with other superintendents around the state.
Getting out talking to people.
I am. Look at that. I'm gonna keep that girl out.
Quick question on the testing. When do you think something will be ready for us to see, and specifically kind of looking for a math cohort view like we've seen in the past?
For Algebra 1,
Just
like to get that 8th grade math group up?
Yeah.
We are not there yet.
Okay.
I think the state testing data is coming out.
Yeah, it is. So the state testing data, I think we get that beginning of October or end of September.
That'll be released soon, and then we'll
Yep.
probably in October, November, get you some data on that.
Okay. Yeah, just
Looking at our current cohorts, not probably within the next couple years.
okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions for Dr. Treptow or any of the principals? All right, we will move on to the district administrator.
So, 2 committee meetings for next month. Buildings and Grounds will always meet at 5:15 as we go through the project in my office. And this next month in October, Policy Committee will meet at 5 o'clock in the conference room next to the main office. So just so you be aware of those 2 committee meetings going on next month. Talked about it a little earlier, about Third Friday count is this Friday, then middle of October, state aid and equalization property values comes out. So they can calculate the revenue limits, and by the time we have our October board meeting, which is not the 3rd Wednesday, it'll be the 4th Wednesday, October 22nd. We push it back so that we could have this data and not have 2 meetings in October. So we should have a budget ready for final adoption on October 22nd, and that'll give us data that'll go into our Baird model, which we should get November, December, somewhere in that, so then Finance Committee can have some more better projections going into the future. We laid the groundwork of that on a Finance Committee meeting a little bit ago. Lots of reports are getting done at this time of the year. The calendar report, how many days and minutes, hours and minutes kids were in school, and the census report, how many kids are from birth or up to 4K, below 4K, an estimate that helps us get our money for Common School Library Fund. And then the biggest one that Andrea and I are still trying to see if they accepted our data yet or not, because it takes a while for the system at the DPI to acknowledge what we've pushed to them. But we did a lot of problem solving the last couple days, and we feel like we have all the data right. And we caught an error an auditor made, so that was kind of fun. Hopefully that's all fixed by now. If not, by tomorrow morning, maybe the data errors will clear. We'll see. But that's due this Friday, so we've been working and doing. Andrew's been learning a lot of problem solving, and a lot of, she's been doing some of the journal entries and some of the data push, so she's getting some real good experience, I hope.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's good working with Dennis to see how he works all those validations and errors that they come up with and how we can solve those, so it's been really helpful.
Yeah, a lot of digging. So it's actually nice to talk to somebody to bounce ideas off, and I got a feeling next year she'll sit with Colleen a lot of those times, and those two will bounce off, well, why is this here? Why is that? And we're finding accounts that we had to call Colleen and said, well, that account's not allowed anymore, we gotta get rid of that one. And that's why some of the data was missing. And the last thing I mentioned is yesterday I ran the area meeting for my district for the WIA. And most of you are really involved with your kids or sports, so I'll just give you a few ideas what's going on there. The WIA is starting a WIA Foundation as a place to donate money that they can use to help schools and students to further athletics. So there's a foundation that's being started. We now have gone through one full cycle of the class reclassification for the success factor. If people for competitive balance have done really too well, the final number came out to be 1.4% of teams got moved because of their success. So it's fairly small. Some sports were more than others, but it's moved some schools that have been very, very successful to a different classification. And we also gave some data that showed most of those teams made it to sectionals in their new division, and some won state championships in that new division. So many of those schools, they really could compete very well at that next level. Summer coaching contract was, there was a committee that worked on that. That part got approved by the membership last spring. The next one they're looking at is season length and number of contests. Over the years, it seems like there's been a push. I mean, Jim, you probably remember it was 20 games in basketball, now 18, now is it 26? 24. So there's a real discussion going around, and there's now an ad hoc committee put together to discuss how long should each season be? When should they start? When they should end? How many games is really appropriate to be playing? I remember when I think I was still on advisory council, and the basketball went to 24 from 22 or from 20, and it's like, that's just costing everybody more money. And most coaches late in the season would like some practice time instead of playing 3 times a week. So we'll see what that committee comes up with, but there's people from all over the state going to get together and work on that. Hopefully by this spring, maybe we'll have something to look at that. Officials has always been a tough number, and Abby probably is still always looking for officials, but
I'm lucky because we have great facilities though, and officials like me.
they like you, okay.
So we got a good working relationship.
It doesn't hurt, does it?
Yeah, and I know a lot of them too from previous
And actually, the total number of licensed officials is actually at a 15-year high. Getting them in the right places, you know, part of that number is because a lot of schools offer a class in high school officiating. So that's blossomed the numbers. It's now getting those kids, we're doing that too. Abby's gonna have that class second semester. So that's getting more young people in, and that kind of inflates the numbers, but if you can get them in and continue and keep them, because you watch a lot of games and there's a lot of geriatric officials, I could say. It'd be nice to get some younger ones, right, Jim? So that's the emphasis. And the other major thing to talk about is game conduct. There's places, and you hear about where there's a lot of racial or ethnic slurs going on during games, and you've read about some of those places, and the WIA is trying to support the schools. The WIA doesn't make the rules on that, but they are trying to give support and direction and help the schools that when they have those things going on, the athletic directors know what resources they have and how they can deal with things ahead of time, actually, and be proactive. That's another emphasis, trying to help schools to avoid those kind of bad situations. That's it.
The other thing I would add, I didn't hear you cover, was we had our annual meeting last week Monday, and I thought you did a great job presenting that. It was fairly sparsely attended, but I thought, we had good content ready for anyone interested in hearing it. So
And if anyone
appreciate
wanted
you
it, we
doing
still
that.
have it in our office, so.
Absolutely. Any questions for Dennis? All right, with that, the next item on our agenda is to close into closed session under section 19851A and 19851F for some co-curricular discussion. So with that, I will take a motion to adjourn to closed session.
I'll make the motion to adjourn to closed session.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Nate, seconded by Guy. All those in favor? Oop. And I will roll call vote. Guy,
Yes.
Brent,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Nate,
Yes.
and Jeff is a yes.